Hello, everyone, and welcome to Create Your Life with Laura Canfield. I'm your host, and today we have on the show with us Cory Michelle, who's going to be talking to us about how to go beyond mediocre to infinite possibility. And it's so weird. Last time I said a little bit about myself, so now you all know who I am, right? In case you didn't know before. So I really want to get into it because I've been so excited about this conversation with Cory Michelle that it's like, yeah, let's play, right? So for those of you who don't know Cory Michelle, I'll just tell you a little bit about her. You can read up about Cory Michelle in the email that you received, as well as on the live page, right? alara.at/CYL/live. And then it'll be on the in the emails and so on. So give me 1 second to pull that up for myself because I had this, I had a short version, but it's like, I don't know where that is now. So we're just going to go with the longer version and just play with it. So Cory Michelle is one of those, and I ad-lib a lot. So Cory Michelle is one of those people who is like so creative, and she has this beautiful, magnificent, potent energy that I just love. It's like, where did she get that? And like, what would it take for me to have even half of her energy? You know, it's like so amazing for me, you know, what she creates and what she's always creating. So I'm so, you know, so grateful, Cory, that you took the time to be with us here today on the show. So Cory is an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. She's a best-selling author, a world-renowned public speaker, life strategist, and universal movement creator with business, money, unicorns, bodies, and relationships. And her latest thing has been the Crazy Possible experiment. And she's creating more and more all the time. And that's why I wanted to talk to Cory Michelle today, because it's like, how did you create your crazy possible life, right? And you've been, you know, you've moved now to Australia, and you're just living this, you know, really crazy life. And it shows all of us that it's possible. We really can create the life that we truly desire, beyond mediocre to infinite possibility, using some tools, right? And so that's the thing that we sometimes forget. It's like, okay, there are some tools that we actually have to use. You know, we can't just wish it and hope. So Cory Michelle, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for that. That was awesome.
And, you know, I'm going to start off.
Echo on there?
Is there an echo going? No, there's no echo. Might be you.
I'm getting an echo here.
No, I don't hear one. I know, it's annoying. So I'll just tell everyone, you know, normally what we do is I ask this big, long question, you know, and it's like the speakers are like, what? You know, because I can ask like 10,000 questions in one go. So I'm going to be nice. So I'll be nice to people now. So Cory Michelle, first of all, can you just tell us a little bit about your story and how you started with Access Consciousness specifically? And of course, here I'm going with all the different questions. And what are some of your tools that you use on a daily basis to really create the crazy possible life that you're creating?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, sorry, I kept hearing an echo. You can't. So can you guys hear me okay like this?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm muting myself.
I'm muting myself just in case.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Sorry. I would hate to be talking about all this awesome stuff and nobody can hear me. Okay. So, you know, what's interesting is if anybody has seen anything I've ever done, I always just talk about how really mediocre my life was. And I was just telling my guy the other day kind of how it was for me, because it's hard to believe when you meet somebody that's changed a whole bunch what they used to be like, right? It's like, no, I can't believe that. And, you know, there was so much that just wasn't working, right? And then when I found the access tools, I was really asking for magic. I wanted magic. I had done 12, you know, just like the rest of us, right? We had done so much other things and books and meditation, pretty much everything. And when I asked for magic that I found access, right? Because I was looking for that thing that was not tangible, right? The parking karma that I had and that I wasn't able to duplicate in any other area of my life, except I knew I could get a parking spot. So I was like, wait a second, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to have whatever this is that I'm aware of. And I had friends that were going to mystery schools and like all this crazy stuff. And then luckily Access, popped around. So I didn't have to do the rest of this stuff. I got to have fun using the Access tools. So yeah, so I'm excited you guys are all on the line here. This is so fun.
So, you just mentioned one thing that is really important, I think, and it's really relevant for anybody who really wants to create their life. And that is, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Right. And so whatever it takes really means letting go of your shit. Right. And then when limitations come up, when your resistance comes up, looking at it and clearing it. Right. Letting it go and choosing another path, a different path. Right. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? And I'm just going to mention really quickly as well, because in case there's new people here who don't know about Access Consciousness, you can go to accessconsciousness.com or you can go to theclearingstatement.com, because I'm sure Cory is going to be using that during the call, and I'll post it in the chat as well.
I, obviously started working with the Access tools, being willing to do and be whatever it took to create sort of beyond that gap. Like there was always this gap for me because I knew it was possible. I knew stuff was possible. I knew it was possible to have money. I knew it was possible to have like so much, right? Like there's no words for it, but I just knew. And that level of willing to do and be whatever it takes is like this magic combination, right? Because you're really stepping into being willing to be the magic that you be the like the crazy possible, be beyond what you've ever been before, right? And not just like, for me, it was always about working hard. Like I could work really, really, really hard, but I wasn't really creating a lot. I was creating a lot more work for myself, which wasn't very fun. So now I really enjoy creating a lot and actually receiving from it, because I was not receiving at all when I first started.
Well, that is really interesting, because it's like, it's very easy for all of us who doers, I'm a doer, so I can do like all day long and not get anywhere, right? Not really create the magic that I want to create, not really create that great life or great business or great, something that I'm searching for, that it's not coming. It's like, but I'm busy. I'm so busy. And my husband says, yeah, you're busy all the time. It's like, yeah, but nothing's happening. And he's like, and he says, yeah, are you having fun? I was like, well, yeah. So
a little bit.
Bits and pieces. So if you could talk about that. And then Shilpa has a question. She has her hand raised, so I will unmute her in a moment after you talk about my question there. How's that?
Yeah, totally. Well, one of the things that I've been working with more and more this year, sorry, I'm still getting an echo, is kind of reverse engineering targets. Right, and reverse engineering possibilities, but not from conclusion, from awareness. Sorry, I sliced my finger if you didn't see that before. Looks like a mummy. But like, so for example, I had this financial target that I've had for a couple of years now, and I wasn't hitting it. I was doing better, like every year it was, getting incrementally better, but I wasn't like really blowing it out of the park. So this year, every year I just redo all of my priorities and all of my targets to really be light and expansive and fun, to where, like, for me now, if what I'm creating doesn't have me love every day and want to get up in the morning, then something needs to change. And so I redid my targets for my business, and the target that was the lightest was 4 times the amount revenue-wise than I had the year before, right? And so I was like, holy cow. But when I identified that number, it was like my whole body went into like, what? Oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, that's crazy possible, and that's juicy, and it's light, and it's expansive, and that's the energy that I'd like to have as my future. So the next question I asked was a question that literally has created a cascade of massive changes over the last 4 months, because this was just in July. And I asked the question, if I create that, and like standing here in 12 months, if I have created that, then what needs to change now so that that can show up? Awareness after change, after rearrange, after universe puts me in different places and positions, and everything had to change to create the new targets. And it wasn't just the financial target. There was a whole bunch of other targets that sort of matched that energy. Does that make sense?
Yes. And so that's about willing to change whatever it takes to reach that target, or to create that life that you desire. Everything.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. And that is, you know, I when I think about that, it's like, or, you know, feel into it. It's like, oh, that's a little scary. You know, it's like, okay, what am I willing to change, and what am I not? What am I willing, like, what am I still holding on to that really is not working anyways, because I'm not where I want to be, right? So it's like, it's not working, so why am I holding on to it? So it's like, holy, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's huge. And I always say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but am I willing to be whatever it takes? Mm-hmm. Right? And willing to change whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And then ask the question, what is that that I'm willing to change? Like, what is that? You know, so, and keep asking that question, right? What is that? What needs to change here for me to have what I truly desire, right?
Right. And when like for me, when I'm aware of the expansive energy, right, and I'm saying, I'll have that, and I'm like saying yes to that energy, that's like, I would just call it expansive, crazy possible, juicy, like whatever that is that actually lights you up, orgasmic energy. That's the universe telling you that that's what's possible, right? So I go, oh, if that's possible, yeah, it's scary, but not really. Like, it's way more exciting, right, than it is scary. And because I think because I got to the point where I was like, you know what? If it's light, it's possible. I believe that 100%. Like that, and it's not even a belief. It's really just a knowing that anything that's light is true for you, period. No exceptions. The question is, are you going to be and do what it takes to create that? Which basically comes down to being willing to follow your awareness, being willing to be all of you. And that sounds so vague, but when you say that energy right there, I'll have that, then the universe goes, oh, okay, cool. And it'll start showing you the awarenesses. And then if you resist, and this is what I find a lot in my year-long program called the Creation Academy, is that when we go fast, right? Things change fast for these people. But when they hold on, or when they resist the speed of everything changing, then it creates big poo pies, right? Then it creates struggle, hardness, things don't work. They'll make choices not based on awareness, things like that. And then they're like, I didn't have to choose this. Like, there was the ease route right there, and I still chose the heaviness. And then once we sort of go beyond that, then there's a natural speed of space, because you're saying yes to that greater energy, right? And then trusting that if it's light, it's true for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm getting like so many ahas and so many like, I see where you're still playing small. I see where you're still choosing little over what you really want, and you know, all that busyness. So I was like, I think that's going to change. So I'm going to go to Shilpa now before I forget, because you know, we could talk forever.
Yes.
but let's unmute Shilpa so that she can ask her question.
Okay.
Unmute.
Hi, Cory. Hi, Alara.
Hi.
Cory, I want to tell you, I'm so fucking excited to be on a live call with you. I've been wanting to be live with you for so long, and I can't believe it just happened. So excuse me, but I'm going to ask you a whole lot of questions. Is that okay?
Start with one.
Yep.
Okay, start with one question.
All right, I'll do that. Cory, so when you started this call, you were telling about how when you started, you knew that there was some greatness and there was some gap, and you knew that you were aware of some greater possibility. So I'm facing the same issues in my life. I feel I'm on a standstill. I feel there's something great. I can almost sense it. It's like playing hide and seek with me, but I'm not able to, notice it, I guess. I want to ask you, how does one start? Because I have this major self-confidence, self-worth, deservability issues. So it's like I'm attracting it, I'm getting it into my life, and then I'm pushing it away. So I really don't know how to break that. So what do you suggest? From where can one start?
Oh, good. Such a good question. Such a good question. Okay. So there's three things I'm thinking of. Number one is start trusting yourself. Start trusting your awareness. Okay. Because you said I have major self-confidence issues. Is that actually true? Are those actually yours? Okay. So what if those weren't actually yours? And what if what you actually are aware of as possible is the truth for you, right? Because is the confidence issues even light for you, or is it heavy?
It's very light. It's very light for me.
Having confidence issues?
No. The truth of what I can see is very light for me, and I just feel it's inevitable. It's going to come, but it's just like I feel I'm my own barrier.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's first things first is going, okay, that's true. So one question you can start asking is, what can I be or do today, every day, to create that? Okay. So every day, and it could be just tapping into the energy. It could be you see images on Facebook as you're scrolling and you're like, ooh, I like that energy, I'll have that. And then you comment on a picture or you reach out to somebody. It's like literally these tiny little seemingly insignificant choices and actions sometimes, right? Where you're like I wanted to go, I saw pictures of all my friends going to Bali. And I said, oh, I had that energy. Ooh, I'll have that. And a year later, I was in the exact same swimming pool that I was commenting on. Okay? So universe is listening all the time. So the more you're engaging with it, like, ooh, I'll have that, with that lightness, the more the universe is like, hey, you can totally have that. Here you go. Okay? Now, the second thing is, do you have inner conflict? Because that's kind of what you're talking about. It's like, it's coming, but I'm stopping it. And I'm coming, I'm stopping it. So do you have an inner conflict going on within you that says, I want it, but I can't have it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, so something like that, right?
Yeah, so in that case, how do I go past the inner conflict?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first things first, you have to look at. So I call these. Okay, well, actually, let's. I'm going to reverse this for us real quick. First of all, what is it that you say you would like to have?
I'd like to have a lot of abundance. I'd like to create.
And what does abundance mean?
A great house, traveling, doing what I like doing. I don't know. I mean, I don't have to look at, a lot of money, and being able to travel, not having to look at my bank balance every time I want to shop.
Okay.
And having.
All right, great.
Living my best life.
And then what do you actually choose?
What do you actually choose, meaning? Everyday life?
So you say you want to have abundance and a lot of money and freedom to shop and all these things in a big house or whatever it is. Then what in your daily life, what do you actually choose?
Mediocrity.
Yeah, but what does that look like?
I definitely don't choose abundance. I say yes to projects which are paying me very less because I'm scared that if that money also doesn't come in, then how will I get my money? But I realize, though there is a realization that though I'm saying yes to smaller projects, I don't actually want to do it. I'm not having fun doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then basically you're saying you'd like to have this abundance, right? But what you're actually choosing is something totally different. So your priority, I mean, if you were to say, oh, this is my priority, then you would say, oh, my priority is having abundance. But really, your priority is actually keeping yourself where you are. Okay? Because whatever it is that you're choosing is literally creating your reality around you. It doesn't matter what you say you want. It also doesn't matter what you ask for if your choices are not congruent with what you ask for.
But Cory, how does one make a better choice when the choices itself are very limited initially when you start off?
Because I'm getting there. The thing is, you've got to actually look at this for yourself. Everybody wants to go, oh, just give me abundance and I'm just going to flit around. And that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that billions show up in your bank account right away.
Correct.
This is where a lot of people aren't looking at going, okay, so what is it that I'm actually choosing that's creating the lack? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that I'm choosing instead of the abundance? Because your choices are the thing, they're your trump card. They're your most powerful magic wand that you've got. Okay. And if you want to skip over this part, you can. But if you want to look at it, this is where the gold is.
Correct.
Is going, oh, I don't choose abundance when it's possible or available. Instead, I choose this over here. So if you can get what you're actually choosing, then we can actually change it. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This is where so many humanoids just want to jump over this and get into the magic, but this is actually what's creating part of the gap. Okay, so if you guys want to clear this, we can just bring, because all the energy's up, I can feel everybody else going, I don't want to look at this, it's so scary and it's hard and I'm going to make myself wrong for it. You don't have to do any of that. We just have to go, oh, that's what I've been doing. So everywhere I've been choosing like that, you guys destroy and create it all. Yeah, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's the access clearing statement. Okay, everybody take a deep breath for me here. This is for humanoids. This is like seriously one of the how do I say this? Sometimes one of the most difficult and avoided things to actually look at. It's kind of like eating a food journal for a nutritionist and saying, oh, I'm going to write down everything I eat for a whole week. And you say, yeah, right, I'll do it for half a day, but not a whole week. But if you actually look at what you choose during the week, your choices, you'll see exactly what is showing up in your world as a reflection of those choices.
Correct.
Okay, this is where we get conscious with every single one of our choices. Okay, all right. So if we don't make ourselves wrong for it, we just go, oh, I've been really cute and I've been choosing that. That's awesome. Okay, what else? What else is possible? I say I want to have abundance and I want to have all of this energy right here. So what other choices can I make every single day that start to create more of that energy of that abundance? Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm just noting it down.
All right. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So when we're in this space of the energy, because it's the energy is the universal language, right? So if you're like, yeah, I'll have that, but you don't really mean it because you're choosing something else, then the universe gets confused.
Yeah,
so then the universe is like, well, it's right here. You're aware of it, but then you go, nah. Okay, cool. So how many of you guys have the push-pull going on with the universe right now? Yeah. Okay, so everywhere you're doing that, when you destroy and uncreate all the unconsciousness that's pushing back after you're starting to receive everything, everywhere it's pushing back. Okay, good, bad, right, wrong, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, now one of the things I do in the Art of Living Crazy Possible is we actually look at all of, well, maybe not all of them, but a bunch of different of these, what I call bogus priorities, is where you're just kind of lying to yourself. Because we're like the biggest liars to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So when we're lying to ourselves about, oh, I want to lose weight, but then you go eat a cake every night, you're probably not going to lose weight, right? I mean, maybe if you're lucky, I won't go on that diet, but it's probably not going to happen. So when we're doing this conflict with ourselves, all it means is that there's some like point of view or something that we haven't been aware of yet. So then what to do next is to really go, okay, so what are the energies you would like to have be your life, your whole life, so that everything is showing up is in these energies. Right? And when I started doing this, I was like, wait a second, it doesn't actually matter what shows up. If it's this car or this house or whatever, it doesn't matter. What actually matters is the energy, because if it's just the things are empty energetically, right? Of like, because it's like this kind of purse or this kind of car or this kind of whatever. If we have a point of view about what we think is going to make us happy or fulfilled, it doesn't work. It's got to have the energy. But when you have the energy of it, then something magical really happens. So when you start to look at the energies you would like to have be your whole life and start asking for your whole life to show up that way, then it's not about the house or looking good or the car. Like, it's not about those things. It's the energy that you live in and as. So then everything starts showing up like that.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shilpa. Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love
Hopefully
that.
That was helpful.
Oh, definitely. Very helpful. And so I wrote down some of what you were talking about in the chat. So if I missed anything, everybody feel free to add, but I try to take the significant ones for me too, as well, of what will work to really shift our lives. And so we're going to take a question from Karen in just a minute, but I wanted to ask you, Cory, is there one tool that you use every day, question or tool or clearing or process that you use every day to be that energy that you'd like to create or see in your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that I use most consistently is actually, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be the contribution I truly be? And it takes any of my points of view out of the way, of any point of view really, and so I can actually go, okay, what contribution can I be and receive? And I'm actually asking all the energy and the earth and people and creations and all of it, teammates and everything, of going, okay, so acknowledging that we are not just little points of view,
or just an island,
humanoids running around, that maybe, just maybe, we're actually here for something way greater than even we're aware of.
Absolutely. And what if, what if you know that you're here for something greater, right? You know it in every fiber of your being, you know it, you can perceive it, you can feel it, and like, but then there's this thing that comes up and says, who the fuck are you? Right? To really think that you are that, right? And even though you are, but that comes up, and then it's like, all right, that's my thing. Who the fuck are you to? And I apologize for swearing, because I know this is going to be on YouTube and my parents might see it. So I was like,
It's just wipe it away. It's no big thing. So here's my interesting whatever it is about it. In this reality, there's a lot of emphasis on going big. Are you playing big? Are you playing small? Are you out there or are you not out there? And then like this is all the significance and judgment, really, like refined judgment on what we're choosing to be. And that none of that is what it is. It's not about if you came here to write these books and become bestsellers. That's not it. That is this reality's way of being. That's not you as a magical being and the impact, I mean, not the impact, but the possibility and the miracle that you be every single day just by being, right? And when we get caught up in, oh, my business and money and, all my books haven't gone to bestseller and like that kind of stuff, we really miss the potency and the magic that we actually be every day that we don't even know, right? It's kind of like the butterfly effect, right? And if we start to acknowledge that you just being you and being the joy that you be going to the coffee shop or being you in just sharing a really great article or some sort of beauty on the internet or Facebook or whatever, or smiling at somebody or buying somebody a coffee behind them or not even like doing really anything, just being you, that actually creates more, right? That's a contribution.
I love that. Thank you. And then the permission to just be, I mean, it's not in the permission, but just be and have fun with it, right? Without that significance, without looking at the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like if you didn't have a point of view about what big looks like or what you came to do or be or have any, just if you just put all that in the cupboard and said, hey, what's the greatest contribution I can be today? And it might just be having orgasms all day long. I don't know.
Yeah, and that can be fun. So, interesting. All right, we're going to go to Karen before I forget. We're going to go to Karen. She's got her hand raised. So, Karen, I'm going to unmute you. I think I muted you. I'm going to unmute you again. There you go. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for taking my question. So my mom is 94 years old. She's on hospice, and it seems like she's got very itchy skin. And it seems like every time I go away to nurture myself, to take care of myself, to run my errands or whatever for extended amount of time, which is like 3 to 4 hours, I come back and it's like she's like very anxious because I'm not around. She's in the dying process, and so her skin gets so much worse, and I'm not sure what I can contribute to her so that she would have more ease and I would have more ease. So I don't have to put her on, her narcotics because she's so itchy and so agitated and so anxious. Any ideas?
A few, actually. Let's see, hold on. Let me see which one's first. Well, number one, are you trying to it's kind of like heal, but also caretake for your mom?
Yep. Every time I run exit stage left and restoration and communion with earth, she gets better. I'm actually trying to help her transition, but she gets better. So every energy I contribute to her, she gets better.
Yeah.
No matter what my intention is.
Okay. So does she actually want to live, or does she actually, is she, oh, this is going to be interesting. Is she proving to you how miraculous you are?
Wow, it gave me goose pimples. Wow. Cool.
So if you were trying to heal her and then she actually left, in her world, would that be like not honoring you or something like that?
That's really like wonky for me. Interesting. I wonder. Yes, no.
would I would explore that and go, okay, so if there's something about like acknowledging you, like, would you be willing to receive the acknowledgement of how much of a miracle and how brilliant and the gift that you truly be?
Okay, I'm not willing to receive that. I know I could keep working on that. So you got me. Okay, so
There you
if
go.
I was
Work with
willing
that.
to, okay, so if I was willing to receive that, then she could have more choice.
Well, maybe
Okay.
she'll choose whatever she chooses, but whatever's going on with her, if you're not receiving it, she keeps trying to give it to you.
Okay. So I'm creating this. Crap.
Nah, you're not that powerful. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's so cool. Wow. So what can I do to be different so that I can, I don't know, allow her to have more ease as well?
Well, take it off of her and put it onto you for a minute.
Okay.
And if you acknowledge the gift and the miracle that you be, what would actually change?
Okay. Wow. My head is just spinning. Whew. Okay. A lot.
So,
Wow.
yeah, and what if it's not actually about her?
Okay. It never is, but we always think it is, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. That was fun.
Yes, thank you. I love that. Wow. And sometimes it doesn't look like the way we think it's going to look, right? It's like we just get stuck in our head of this is how it's supposed to be, right? And I've noticed in my own life that when I let go of what I think it's supposed to be and just let the universe gift and contribute to me, it's even more magical and
It's
more of a
even
contribution,
more
right?
magical
than I thought.
Right? Than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Oop, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hold on.
Oh, hold on. I changed it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now I'm back to the way it was before.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, the universe, the funny thing is the universe always has our back. Like always has our back. And when we actually, when we get to the truth of stuff, I just posted this on Facebook today. It's like when you actually get to the truth of what's going on, not your truth, like your point of view, but like what's actually going on, then it literally will set you free if you're willing to receive it. So just like what we were talking about a second ago with Shipla, right? Is that how you say your name?
Shilpa?
With like really looking at here's what I'm choosing and not making yourself wrong, not making yourself right, just going, oh, that's what I've been choosing. Okay, now what's possible? It's almost like you get to this ground zero point where you're not, trying to cover up your own little poop pies and pretending that they're not there. You're not like gonna ignoring stuff, right? So you're like, no, this is what's there. I created a poop pie. Now what's possible? There's freedom with that. That's where the possibilities can actually start getting created, but it's actually a function of receiving. Are you willing to receive what you've created? Are you willing to receive what you've chosen? Are you willing to receive the awarenesses of all of that? And how much do we have to cut all of that off to not know how brilliant and magical we are? Right?
I'm going to unmute Shilpa. She has a follow-up question.
Okay.
So 1 second, Shilpa. Hold on. All right. Go ahead.
Cory, There's one problem that I'm experiencing, which I'm not able to get out of, and that is of comparison. Whenever I see somebody doing better than me, I feel very envious. I am very insecure, and I'm beating myself up big time on that. But I really am trying my best to get out of this, but I'm not able to. I wonder what's happening here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one. Well, here's the question. I'm going to turn this around. What actions are you not taking, and what energies are you not being that other people are showing that you're aware of that you could take, but you haven't yet?
So much. So much.
Yeah. So that's one thing that was showing up for me as well, of like, I would see other people do stuff and I'm like, and I would do my own little thing. And I'm like, wait a second, what if I actually just started choosing those things for myself when I was aware of them for myself? Because it doesn't have, everybody's going to create something a little bit different in their own way, but you'll notice the energies, right? When somebody's being a different energy or somebody's created something where you're like, that, right? That is only a recognition of that it's something like that is possible for you too, that those energies are available for you. But if you make it wrong, like, oh, I didn't do this, or I could have done that before, or some sort of judgment or refined judgment, then that's when you go into the competition part versus going into the, wait a second, is this actually possible for me? All right. And then going back to that first question that we asked, what can I be or do today to have more of that right away?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Thank you, Shilpa. Good follow-up question. I love that. So we're going to go to Isabel in a second. 1 second. Isabel, I'm going to unmute you. Where is it? There is Isabel. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Cory. Well, hi. It's a question of giving and receiving. I have the feeling that these days, the more I give and the more I receive in return people that are like, I'll just say that. They are eating my energy, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really weird since I've been creating new classes. There are, well, when I asked somebody to host the class, or when somebody asked me to be the host of the class, is it as if I was, no, just like, well, okay. Around me these days, I have people that are sucking everything I give them. And just like vampires, I mean, they are waiting for me to be facilitated all day. They are giving me their crap or everything bad or they don't want. And finally, it is not creating for me. And the result is that at this moment, the class stops creating. So is it a time for me to look at what I have chosen giving and receiving from and with that people, or is it a time for me to see how I can follow the energy differently? I don't know if it's clear.
Well, first, okay, so a couple of things about that. Number one is, would you be willing to ask a question instead of a conclusion with a question mark?
Yes. Thank you for that.
Because did you guys see, so she went into, well, is it this or is it this? Which neither one were really a question. She was just looking for an answer, right?
Yeah.
And there's a little more, maybe a lot more that's available if we're willing to actually ask a question. So we could look at the same thing we were looking at before of like, what has been your priority when you're choosing people to work with?
Yes, good question. Huh. I perceive that I did not ask enough questions first. And that was just, to be honest, firstly, it was just having people in the place to be useful for me or for the class, and it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So in return, I had people that asked me questions, facilitation, blah, blah, blah. Now I really perceive that there is something stinky in my way of choosing people. And it is not contributive. It's a conclusion, yes. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So what else can I choose? Yeah. Well,
yeah, exactly. What else?
To be a contribution.
What else can you choose? And I would also ask, like, are you willing, and this is a practice, like it took me practicing and intensively practicing this, of truly asking real questions when you're going to work with somebody or when you're going to host a class, and following the energy on it. And what I noticed that I was doing, and I see lots of people do this, right? Because we're not used to asking questions, even when we've been doing it a while, is that we'll ask a question, but we have a point of view, right? So if you have a point of view that you want to do the class, or that you like the person, or that it's going to create money or something like that, then that point of view will override, number one, the question you ask, and two, the awareness that you get. So if you notice yourself having a point of view or anything else in there, pot and pock all of that, and then I would ask, like, okay, so if I chose this, what's it actually going to create?
Yeah, I didn't have that question.
Okay. And you might get a different energy on it, and you might be aware of where people are functioning from. But also, when you have people sucking energy off of you, or what's the other word, that like anyway, there's another word I'm thinking of, vampires, but stuff like that, then you're actually in the position of being a victim. So my question to you is, are you willing to acknowledge what role you've been playing?
Yes.
Yeah, she's like, maybe not. Because here's the thing, is that when it's about that other person, right, like they're sucking from me, then what's happening is you're not claiming, owning, and acknowledging the space and the energy and the consciousness that you be.
Yeah. Yeah, but
okay.
Last day,
it's not a wrongness, it's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And these days I was on the verge of changing the energies, because I really realized that I didn't ask enough questions, and the questions were not accurate enough to change the energy of choosing to be a contribution, to have contributive people in my life too.
Yeah. Well, great. So here's the thing. How many times do we have to like choose something that until we get it? I know there's a number of things in my life where I had to choose a number of times, probably too many times. And then I finally got the awareness and was willing to receive the awareness of what would actually create something different. Okay. So when we're not blaming them, because the blame is a distraction, right? And this goes for anything you want to, oh, this person is this. Well, you want to actually turn that around and go, okay, so what is that actually what awareness is that keeping me from? And going, oh, what awareness can I actually get from this? Oh, I could have asked a different question. I totally had a point of view. How can I do it different?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isabel.
Welcome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, that was a great question. And you know what that brought up was, in the past, and I say in the past because really it was in the past, I was always, when I was working with people, I was coming from a place of lack, coming from a place of, they know more than I do. They're better than me, so they have all the answers. I know nothing, Now, when, especially for this series, like, okay, who do I want to work with? Like the question is not, or the point of view is not, they're better than me. It's like, oh, I think they would be fun to play with, and it's that energy. And what can we create together to create more for people, in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And so that I find is so much more fun because, if I do say so myself, I am a magnificent creator, potent facilitator, but in the past, I was like, oh, no, I don't know anything. I'm going to let them do all the talking. I'm going to let them be everything. And I'm just going to be in the background. I'm just going to, host them, and it's like, that does not work for me anymore at all. So it's like, yeah, that changes now. Right. Yeah. But, at the time that was where I was operating from. And then I started asking questions. What would be fun for me?
Exactly. And that was one of my favorite questions is who would be fun to work with, who would be fun to create with, who would, where we could actually create magic together. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I was actually just talking to a friend / client / other facilitator about this last night of like, when people are willing to actually create together and have their priority be the lightness mm-hmm. and honoring of the creation and each other, there's this magic that can happen. And I asked Gary Douglas about it one time, and I said, what would it take to have more of that with more people? And he said, Cory, there are certain people that you'll be magic with, and there are certain people that you won't at different times. Mm-hmm. It doesn't actually work that you have that with everybody. And what else is possible? And that gave me the awareness of going, oh, all of my hopes and dreams that we could all play in this utopian ideal. That everybody that wants to collaborate will be kind and will honor each other and do all this stuff is like, okay, I need to actually be aware and not just pretend like it's all going to work out.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm having my bars run in just a few minutes. My friend is coming over and it's like, I'm going to tell her to stay on the hopes and dreams for a while. It's like, I need to get those run a bit more because, it's true. Right. And it's like, that's where we function from sometimes without asking questions and without being aware. So asking questions is one of the greatest tools. And you have a gift for all of our listeners and our community. And that is on the gifts page, and it's the Ask and Receive PDF. So can you just talk a little bit about that with us?
Yeah. I wish I had this PDF when I started Access. But what I did was I put down a few of the key elements that I found super helpful for myself, and also put a list of like questions to sort of start with as like a basis. So anything you're wanting to look at or create or ask for, there's kind of a format so you can start if you haven't ever asked questions before. But a lot of people have asked questions before and have been using the Access tools for a while and use it because they didn't have a printout that they could just say, oh, here it is. I can just actually look at it. And sometimes that helps people too. So you get that, and then you can print it out and have fun with it. It's called the Ask and Receive Secrets PDF or something like that.
Beautiful. And it's so, for me, I find it's really helpful because sometimes, like there's so many tools, right? There's so many tools, there's so many processes, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know which one to use right now in this moment, right? So sometimes having them listed out that you can use, it doesn't mean you do it by rote or automatically, but have the awareness of, which one is going to contribute to you in this moment, right?
Yeah. And that's what because I was really dense. I had to set alarms on my phones to ask questions. I had to do, I literally did how does it get better and what else is possible about 500 times a day, because I was not asking any questions at all when I first learned how to ask questions. And so I was like committed to figuring this out. And at that point it was all about figuring it out. So I was like, whatever it takes, I will do it. If it takes being the most annoying person, I'll do that.
And see that again, Cory just shared, something really, I hate to use the word significant and important, but really good. And that was about being committed, right? Committed to your life, committed to change, committed to creating the life that you desire and doing whatever it takes, even if it means being annoying. Right?
Yep. Even if it means you're going to get judged, if people are not going to like you, if
whatever it takes. So, what are you willing to do for yourself to really create the life that you truly desire? And going beyond mediocrity to infinite possibility means doing and being whatever it takes to create that life that you truly desire. Have the energy of that life, like Cory Michelle has said throughout this call. Have the energy of that life, and then make choices. Take action, make choices, take action, and keep choosing and be committed. I think that's where we tend to. That's where we tend to give up. And my husband just said to me yesterday, he's like, see, you can see the little TV thing here in the background. It's not really a TV, but it's a Android thingamajiggy. And so I was watching Netflix, right? And he's like, you know what? I'm getting rid of that. You need to do this. I said, listen, sometimes I just need to veg, right? And and he said, well, if you want to veg and not think or whatever, go meditate. It's like, well, that's not really what I mean. I just want to do nothing, right? But so what am I committed to in that moment, right? To the status quo, to doing nothing, to past programming, so for me, there was no judgment there, but it's more like, okay, yeah, I see where he's coming from. But it's okay for me to watch Netflix for half an hour, one show, just to unwind, but not all day, not, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days in a row. No, be committed to your life. What do you truly desire? Right?
Okay, I won't tell anybody that I watched Netflix for a whole day one day.
I saw you post something, but hey, I need a Netflix recommendation, right? We all do that, right? We all do that. And sometimes that's what our body requires, is that ease to just chill, relax, and do something mindless. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But are you aware of where you're coming from, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I would add to that commitment part is that so much of the time we think it's about being committed to all the doing, right? But sometimes not sometimes. For me, commitment is actually the commitment to being me, the commitment to following the energy, the commitment to choosing the lightness. So if watching Netflix for a day is actually what's light, and it's not that fake light of I'm actually avoiding something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, cool. Like this is actually what's required right now.
Yeah.
And the more I do that, the more, things are percolating and creating, and I'm not always having to do. So that's what I've found. And if I don't make myself wrong for it, then heck, bonus points.
And sometimes, and this is where, I don't make myself wrong for watching Netflix, even if it is for 2 days in a row, because sometimes in the background, there is stuff percolating, right? And so I'm aware of that. So it's like, but my body needs to chill, my mind needs to chill, and do nothing. And it gives me somehow, I have no idea how this works, it gives me more space then to come to that place where I can choose more and be more and create more. And so it's fun for me. So I'm always searching for new ideas too. It's like, what can I watch now? But we're also multitaskers.
Well, there's a whole list on my Facebook page.
I know, right?
And comments of shows in there.
We are multitaskers. I know we're going over, and I'll be done in a minute. But for me anyway, I'm a multitasker. So I'm working, and it's playing in the background, and at the same time, there's other stuff going on in my space for what I'm creating, and that works for me. So do what works for you. In the end, that's what I'm going to say. Do what works for you, but be aware of what that is and choose what is congruent for what you desire to create in your life. I think I summed it up really well.
Yeah, and I'll add just one more element there is that it's usually not what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think you have an issue or whatever, it's usually not that. And it won't, and I know we talk about this a lot in Access, is like, it's not going to show up the way you think it will.
No.
So in the following the energy and creating your life and all that stuff, it's like all of a sudden I ended up in Bali, and all of a sudden I created something that took off, and all of a sudden, but it wasn't like overnight. It was like a process of following the energy for a while.
Yeah.
And then something pops.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how like pretty much every success, like I say successful, like a business person that's created a lot or, you know, inventive or whatever, it's like they've done a whole bunch of different things and then something finally popped. Right. So if I could say anything is like, be committed to that energy, be committed to being you and following the lightness. And there's the crazy possible, the infinite possibilities are available when that's a greater commitment than anything else that's going on for you.
Absolutely. And, you know, choice creates awareness, right? So keep choosing, choose what's right for you, choose what works for you, and then be open to the magic and of what the universe is always gifting to us. Be open to that, right? And be willing to receive it. Yeah, that's all. I mean, I could talk forever. Go ahead, Cory Michelle. What are you gonna say?
No, just yes to all that. Yes to all that. So I wouldn't buy for a minute that anybody that's watching this isn't a major miracle maker if they allow themselves to be. So what is actually possible? And I think the last thing I'll say is that if you weren't judging yourself for even the most judgeable offenses, what energy could you be and what could you actually choose?
Sorry, can you say that again? I thought I muted myself, but can you say that again one more time?
If you weren't judging yourself, right, or making yourself wrong for anything, what energy could you be and what could you actually choose?
Yeah. That is brilliant. And that's why I needed to hear that a second time, because yeah, that really calls to me. So, wow. Thank you. And you know, all of these shows are on the replay page, so you can watch the video again, or you can just listen to the audio, whatever gives you more ease. And you can check out all of the gifts at the gifts page, which is in the email that you get every, you know, when you first registered. But it's alara.at/CYL/gifts. I try and keep a little bit separate because, you know, to honor people that actually sign up for it. But thank you. And this has been brilliant. And I would definitely go back and watch this again or listen to it again, because there were so many gems, so many tools, so many wonderful questions. And definitely go get that gift from Cory Michelle, because there's tons of questions on there that you can start to use to really start to create your life and be aware of what it is that you truly desire even, right? So thank you, Cory. This was
awesome.
This was
thank
wonderful.
you so much for having me on, and thank you guys for coming live. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I know it was a special time and all, but I'm so glad you all were able to join us live. And because the energy of that is like, it's just amazing. And thank you for your questions. You know, thank you so much. That helps to bring even more to the show with your questions, you know, so thank you. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great day. Until next time, continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Much love and blessings. I'm going to unmute you all. Maybe, I don't know how, but anyways, I'm just going to, oh yeah, here it is. Unmute you all. There you go. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye for now.